good afternoon, good evening, good day, free enterprise fans around the world, and to those over at SpeedGaming. Thank you so much for letting us have this fantastic little showcase for free enterprise, courtesy of Dr. Cossack, who's going to be our runner this evening. My name is Austin Morpheus, and I am joined by Martin Broadcloak. Martin, how are you doing this afternoon?
I am fantastic. Awesome. How are you doing?
I am doing great, thank you. I'm very happy to be here and being part of this year marathon to show off my beloved favorite randomizer in free enterprise and one of my best friends in the community and my mentor in free enterprise, Dr. Cosmic. Always happy to support a good friend and a good cause.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Doc is a wonderful runner at Free Enterprise. I'm looking forward to seeing what show we have put on for us tonight. And speaking of shows, I see an Edge.
Yeah, so Edge is a really powerful character. For those who are familiar with the vanilla game, you normally don't get access to Edge until you are ready to dive down the hook route in the vanilla game, which is fairly late into things. Pretty much the middle game, middle to late game, you're really getting into the thick of things by the time you pick up an Edge. So to start with him means it's going to be very, very powerful. And he's going to really be able to push forth on the overworld and really deliver a powerful performance for Dr. Cossack.
Yeah. It's probably one of the better early game characters, I would say, to start with, just because there's, especially when we look at the flag set, which we'll get into in a second, but basically not starting with basically what we call the Neki flag. Edge comes with his full loadout. So he is basically ready to go, and there's not a lot that's going to shut him down on the overworld.
Yeah, absolutely. That Edge will not only be good early on, but will be good later on. And kind of going into those different objectives that are seen on the screen as Dr.
Mhm.
Cossack's getting started. We do have 7 of them, and all 7 have to be completed. And it looks like Dr. Cossack is getting, well, not one but 2 Eds. And there's a required twin harp to start as well. So Edge is named Ed, Edward is named Ed. That's a demist as well, so a lot of good, valuable information right off the bat.
Right, and a starting twin harp, which happens to be one of our objectives today. So yeah, no, this is a pretty good start, I would say, Possum.
Yeah, I would absolutely say so. And, to go with that start with the Edge in particular, the flags, just posted them in chat for those following along who may know the different flags that are associated with Free Enterprise.
Mhm.
But those flags, one of the major things on there is what we call T Wildish, max tier 7. That means you are going to see some really high quality loot coming out from this Castle Eblin that Doc is going into right now. Potentially some high-end ninja swords and other great gear.
Yeah, very much so. Also, trap chests. Yeah, those happened as well. But part of the starting flag set, because we come with the trap kit in this, is we start with an amount of hourglasses and some other items. The reason why they call it the trap kit is it's basically items that are designed for early game trap chests to shut them down and give you kind of an early jump on some really good prizes.
Yeah, and those hourglass 2s, we saw Dr. Cossack use one, and then we saw him hit the assassin dagger here. So we'll get into kind of all of what those do, but real quick off the bat, there's a power shirt that's plus 15 to the strength stat for the wearer of that. So an incredible early find. But the hourglasses freeze enemies for somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 ATB ticks, giving Edge more than enough time to kill enemies. And also conveniently with that assassin dagger, we're getting swoon procs. So right off the bat, some high tech here from Doc, where he's going through and with the enemies at ATB 0, so active time battle, which of course you don't get a bar to show you the active time battle, you just kind of have to know. thank you, early free enterprise or early Final Fantasy games. But you end up where you can just hit the enemies, time is stopped, and they just fall over. Doc also conveniently picks up a Masamune, which would normally be at the Ogopogo altar at the very bottom of the moon, picks it up in this castle. Hey, that's some great early game damage.
Yeah, very much so. This Evelyn, I mean, we both understand the power of Evelyn, and especially when you're playing on T Wildish, I mean, this is probably one of the best early game areas in the game. Based on this flag set, there's not a lot of places you would rather be right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The loot tiering here is very, very high. The trap chests are not too difficult, and this edge makes them, quite an easy clear. So again, great finds here for Doc, as he will be trying to complete all of his objectives. This is a huge push forward.
Very much so.
So I'll ask you the question, Martin. After Doc is done clearing this here Eblin Castle, where would you go?
I mean, look, if you're gonna clear Eblin and you have this weaponry, oh, nice mute knife, by the way. That would have been useful literally 2 minutes ago. I'm in Baron Inn immediately. I mean, with this edge, there's not a lot that shuts you down in Baron Inn, and you want characters. So yeah, and it's a very short flight there. I'm there immediately. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely like it. You're going through and able to pick up another character. Maybe a white mage would be especially nice. Could also be, a black mage like a Palom. Could be a Cecil. Maybe we'll find a nice shiny sword for a Cecil. But lots of different great character options to pair with this edge.
Yeah, especially with the no free character option on. So it's not just, hey, we can go to, Mysidia or Watery Pass or Damsian and get free characters. No, we actually have to work for them with this flag set. So whether it's here, whether it's Hobbs, we're going somewhere.
Yeah, and the kind of nice thing about it is even though we're going somewhere, and hey, there's a nice shiny sword, an Excalibur, which you would normally get from the Forge in the vanilla game. That Excalibur can either be darted by Edge for massive damage as a one-time use, or it can be equipped onto Cecil and turn him into a real powerhouse. But it does look like Doc is headed up to Troya, likely going to pick up his free key item. And the flags that are on, these are modified Adamant Cup flags. Martin, what can you tell us about the Adamant Cup?
Oh, that was a fun tournament, wasn't it?
It was.
We both got to play in that one. I believe one of us won it. Spoilers, it wasn't me.
That's true.
It's a difficult flag set. I mean, Adamant Cup, it was not for the faint of heart. It was a high completion percent flag set. There was it's a very effort intensive. I mean, you have to know what you're doing in Adamant Cup to play it very well. And seeing this modified version of it, I mean, we're going to see some top tier gameplay out of this. So even with the edge start and Edward in his normal, resting position, This is not free even with this edge start. This seat is not free by any means.
Absolutely, yeah. There's definitely some things that you can run across. Again, part of that is it is 7 out of 7 required. Yeah. So every objective that was on the initial start screen, and we can get those all typed up for chat to follow along with. But all of those objectives, which was turn in the Sand Ruby, complete the Twin Harp, liberate Baron Castle, complete Cave Bahamut, complete the Vanilla Ogopogo spot, the Leviathan spot, and trade away the Pinktail. Now, because all of those have to be done, it's very high completion, which means power overwhelming by itself will not get you there. You're going to still have to have some pretty good game knowledge to either get through fights or make them a lot more efficient.
Speaking of game knowledge, I'll tell you what, one of the nicer things I love is the variable agility in Baron Inn, where the Mega Sisters can't seem to make up their mind what the turn order is supposed to be. And, well, let's just say Reflect doesn't exactly work the way it's supposed to there. It's always a good time to see that one.
Yeah, one of the fun things about Baron Inn, the first spot has variable agility from, I believe it's 7 to 11. And if the middle sister and the front sister act quicker than the back one, she doesn't cast her wall like she's supposed to. And then the front sister fries the middle sister, and they don't have the best of times. But speaking of the best of times, Doc picks up a required Baron key from Baron Inn. Is this even randomized, by the way? And a Rosa for his troubles.
I like you said earlier, find a white I mean, any white mage in a storm right now is fantastic, and honestly, she's the best one in the game.
Yeah, there is another primary white mage that is referenced. I think Porom is the name, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I mean, some folks think she's a white mage, and some folks like me think that, well, she's probably better served as an archer or an anchor. But, this isn't about me. This is about Free Enterprise.
That was an interesting shot there on Doc's side. I'm surprised he didn't pick up any drain spears there.
Yeah, the drain spears would have been interesting, but I think he still has a dragoon spear. Kane, probably not part of the long-term plan, so probably thinking in an emergency situation he can leverage that. Does pick up a full moon, which is really nice. The back row glitch is on in this flag set. So what would you say about that back row glitch, Martin? How does that work compared to vanilla? Does it work? What's that all about?
I mean, for anyone who's played the vanilla game, we all understand this is a finely coded video game. And sometimes there were some, just little minor things that were missed. Like the ability to turn on a back row flag and then, well, kind of forgetting the ability to turn it off. So, once you back row a character by giving them a weapon that lets them basically strike for full power in the back row, once you take that weapon off, the game doesn't exactly remember to turn off that bit. So you are now full power in the back row once you put on one of those weapons. Since that time, we have corrected it in Free Enterprise, where now it is an enabled function to where we can turn that on or off depending on the flag set at our leisure. But with this party right now, I mean, Edge is great, don't get me wrong, but he cannot take a very large punch in the front row, so anything to get him in the back and still swinging for full damage, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And anytime you can protect Edge, because he's not Cecil as far as his defense, that's for sure. Anytime you can keep him protected and just let him do what he does best, which is damage, you're going to have a much better time than the alternative.
But, yep, very much so. Also, I'm noticing a distinct flaw here on Doc's screen. Edward is still alive. Oh, never mind. Problem solved. Okay, correct. Moving on.
Yeah, Edward was alive. Edward now no longer alive. So yeah, carrying on, this Edge is going to continue being very fast for the overworld, hitting very hard, and dispatching of the boss at the vanilla Beigen spot, which was demissed today.
Yeah. Now, for those wondering, it's like, why are we keeping Edward dead? Well, one, it's Edward. I mean, that's just, how it is. Two, it has to do a lot with preserving an anchor in the game. For anyone that played the vanilla game, vanilla agility, the way it operated was, well, the game's kind of about Cecil. So Cecil was, the king of all things agility. Because we don't run vanilla agility in this flag set, whichever character is in your center spot, or spot number 1, is your anchor. In the overworld, you want fast characters to be your anchor. That way you're getting more turns than, everyone else. When you get to the later game spots, you want somebody slow in the middle, so everybody else is acting faster relative to the character in the center. Great way to keep that in play is to keep a character dead, so they never level. Edward's a great character to keep dead. There's some people who might take offense to that. Actually, there's probably a lot of people, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, though, is it's very important to know all about your anchoring. when you want to be fast anchored, when you want to be slow anchored,
Mhm.
what bosses it's good to do that for, what individual spots it's good to do that for. There's so much that goes into it. We don't want it to seem overwhelming, but typically overworld you want to be fast. Underground you want to be either fast or slow, depending on the spot. And Moon you typically want to be slow anchored. So it
Mhm.
just depends how you progress throughout the game. But some nice looting here going on from Dr. Cossack here as well in the Baron Castle. So that's cool to see. We get some of those fantastic high quality loots out of this castle here.
Yeah, and that goes back to T Wildish is spots that you wouldn't normally think of. Like why am I looting this place? Like, no, there's more chests somewhere else, or Evelyn or whatever it may be. Well, Wildish kind of makes it to where what, most spots aren't going to be terrible. Yeah, there are some spots that will be better than others, but on the overworld, you're kind of just going for like treasure chest density. Just find the most amount of chests in a small spot, and yeah, do it.
Yeah, the density of loot is really important, especially when T Wildish is on. Everything is always so good that you kind of just want to hit the best possible density areas. That's kind of what you're looking for more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So
It looks like
as Doc is coming up here, Martin, on the completion of his objective of liberating Baron Castle, where would you be headed after this?
I think it's going to come down to what key item comes out of here. You have the twin harp in your hand, and you have power with edge. Much like most physical attackers in the game, they get a lot better when you have this thing called berserk or wine. Either one of the two work just fine. I think it comes down to what this item is. Could come down to character too. If it's like a Cecil, for example, well, that's not Cecil. Things like ordeals might be in play. Where do you go? If it were me, I think I'm in Antlion Cave. Do Antlion, get the item, and see if that gives me some direction. And then at that point, you have enough time to walk out and decide whether you're going to hang a left and go to the Twin Harp, or if you're going to hang a right and go to Fabul.
Yeah, I think I would do everything in my power not to do Fabul. And the reason for that would be, well, I just don't want to have to worry about, double dipping. If I can get
Mhm.
away with just doing a single dip Fabul, maybe find the pan and some underground access,
Yeah.
just kind of go through and do one shot there and be done with it.
Mhm.
So that might be on Doc's mind as well as he goes to Antlion Cave, and
Mhm.
maybe we'll get ordeals afterwards. Maybe even the Twin Harp.
Yeah, ordeals is an interesting one. I mean, obviously Cecil goes burr. We have the weaponry. We have, great armor for him. We have, we have all these, wonderful tools for him. But to get him online, you still need ordeals.
Yeah, Cecil has a shiny sword, but we don't have a Cecil.
Oh,
Oh, hi. Ha ha
hi.
ha.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody else needs to die here. Okay, there we go. We're fine.
Yeah, so Golbez. Golbez is Golbez is a boss. Golbez will run through and basically take out your party members one by one. Well, until they're gone and there's only two left.
Mm-hmm.
So the quicker you can make it by, well, effectively murdering your own party, the better off you're going to be. In this spot, it's particularly annoying because there's only 1,000 HP at this spot. This is a vanilla Antlion Cave, where Edge would basically just hit one time and the boss would explode. Well, now we have to wait through Golbez's comedy routine, which is ha ha ha, let's show you the real power, blah blah blah. And it's like, can you just go away?
He's about to go away, Possum. He really is.
Good.
Yeah, right about now. Really? We're gonna revive Kane.
That means that Kane is part of Doc's plan. He wants levels on the Kane.
Alright. Oh, by the way, Golbez doesn't like fire. Did you know that?
I knew that.
Okay.
Doc knows that. I think everyone else just learned that.
Yeah, that's why that big bomb did a little bit more than it. Wow, the value.
Yeah. So if this were a race, that would be a snap reset.
Yes.
Because you honestly want that big bomb back instead of having the apple. The apple does literally nothing, and Golbez just wasted a bunch of your time.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Also, that thing about saving prior to coming in here, that also didn't happen. So who knows how far that reset would have taken us back. So that may have also, went into the calculations of, I want to push this reset button. Probably shouldn't.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Definitely, you would not want to lose all of your progress to that point.
No.
For it has been a fair amount. And Dr. Cossack, better off saving to be safe or making sure you progress through. And oh hey, I heard you like Kane. Would you like another? And I think Mylon Z got confused. The background is the same, but facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, very much so. But Edge doesn't care because, hey, that full moon, that does very bad things to something that is considered floating.
But Martin, I thought that Mylon Z was weak to fire.
Finely coded video game, Possum.
Okay, fair enough. I'll let it pass. Not sure how fire and floating. You know what? It's cool.
I don't.
Maybe it's like an Articuno where it's a.
There you go.
Bird. Yeah, we'll go with that. Or I don't know. Put some Pokemon's weak to fire and it flies.
Sure.
And I'm sure because it's a bird, it's a jerk. So
that's
we'll go with
also accurate. Wait, did we really just reference Pokemon and Mystic Quest and somehow segue into Final Fantasy IV out of that? That's pretty good.
Well, we don't quite have push B to jump on, but it is a flag that exists, and it's incredibly fun to watch. And some people enjoy playing it, too.
I'm not going to solicit my comment on the people that play that, but, more power to them. Congratulations.
I will say that particular flag that's being referenced, push B to jump, for those familiar with the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest game, where you can jump over NPCs and jump over, random things like, rocks and old men and other, things in the game. Push B to jump is a flag that was introduced to Free Enterprise as a special April Fool's from Boardface, the creator of the randomizer. And it's got a life of its own. So it's a really cool thing to see. There are clubs built around it and everything. We're not showing that off today because these are kind of tournament-driven flags. But it's a really cool flag. And for those who might enjoy that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend looking into it.
It is. You can definitely do some silly things by being able to jump everywhere. Also, there are some places you can solve off the game by jumping. So, play at your own risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see the bomb splitting out here. Looks like going to get a flame cast by Edge here. One of the cool things about Edge is not only does he go ahead and have the ability to, whack things with his swords, he also has ninja magic, which by itself, even without good weapons, can carry an entire overworld.
Well, let's see what we get from here. We talked about this earlier, about, not having a double, triple dip Fabool. Well, so let's talk about that Sand Ruby for a second, because I did notice something when we were both examining the flags earlier. There is a C restrict flag enabled, and it is exactly for Cecil and Fu. What does that restrict do to how the character selection works in the game?
Well, it means that you're not going to find them at ungated locations. For example, the Baron Inn, which is where Rosa was, or Mount Hobbs, which is where Kane was. So that restrict flag means that this could potentially start to yield Cecils or Fusoyas from the Sand Ruby, the Earth Crystal, Baron, the Moon, things like that. Looks like we have a Palom here, which is a nice addition, but not the greatest, but it is another objective completed. And that's fantastic for Doc. That now puts him with 2 of his 7 objectives completed, access to a third already in the Twin Harp, and now also has a real Black Mage instead of just a ninja.
Yeah, yeah. Except for I don't think Doc took him.
Well, I mean, and that's also perfectly viable because the loot settings on this really drive you towards Berserkers. And finishing off in the low to mid 40s for levels.
Yeah.
So Palom doesn't learn Nuke until level 52, and there's a decent chance that, frankly, you're just never going to get there on this flag set.
It is fun. I will say this, though. We referenced the Adamant Cup earlier. This is 7 out of 7 objectives, though. So if we start going on wild goose chases and have to clear this entire game, 52 is probably going to be more of a reality than you think.
Yeah, I would say the only counter to that really, though, is the Giant is not an objective.
That's true.
If the Giant were an objective, 100% on board with taking the Quack Kid there, as he is affectionately known as, for learning Quake at only level 23, which is incredibly early for how powerful it is. But without the Giant XP, even a full clear of the moon is only going to give 600,000 to 700,000, which is not enough by itself. So that may be factoring into Doc's reasoning for saying no to the kid. Plus, Edge is still just going to be plowing through checks here, including this Twin Harp check. And there's some pretty cool stuff that happens here at the Twin Harp, Martin, isn't there?
There is one, hooray for Doc saving, in case this just happens to be exactly Wyvern and ruining your day. But yeah, basically we randomized the music. So because, Twin Harp, I mean, it's great and all, but what if we could put a jukebox in there? So, 400 to 500 different music tracks here, all from various games, genres, you name it, all throughout, and it's always a surprise whenever you do the Twin Harp check. So I'm looking forward to seeing what as we affectionately call DJ Spoony B plays for us today. I
know personally I'm always hoping for Infinite Stairs, but I think that has been removed, sadly.
Yeah,
so we'll get some other fantastic flavor of Bard life today.
So yeah, sit back and enjoy. We'll be quiet while the music plays, and we'll see you back shortly. Hey, Possum.
Hey, Martin.
Scale of 1 to 10, how happy do you think Doc is seeing Baigen exactly here?
I mean, Doc's happy, but I wanted Baigen a K Bahamut or Leviathan.
So did I know. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice. Hey!
That reward is passable.
It is. It is. Hey, I love shortcuts. So, give me a faster way to Zeramus, and yeah, I'll take it. The only bad part about this, though, welcome to the Walk of Shame. This is what happens when you try to leave and realize that you don't have exit.
It's actually the Stride of Pride, Martin.
Oh, is that what we're calling it now?
That's what we are calling it now.
Okay.
That's what I call all of the walks where you don't have exit or warp and you really want exit or warp. Just because I love how that rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. Boy, when you're racing, does this hurt.
Yeah. It's only like 40 seconds, though. So it's not the end of the world. Again, if you were racing, you probably don't do this until you have exit or warp. But again, it's not a race. So,
it's a showcase.
It's a showcase. Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, Baiken's out of the pool. Oh, that's nice. At least for Doc, that's nice. Not nice for us as viewers, but it's nice.
Yeah, and again, it is a third objective, and Doc still doesn't have underground access. He can go fight Zeromus. Well, he can't act. He could go show everyone Zeromus and not have the crystal and then die to it.
Yes.
But, he probably won't do that.
No.
Crossing my fingers. Maybe he will to show it off. Who knows?
I was going to say, wait a minute, this wasn't discussed prior to this? Like, wait a minute, hold on. So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. None of this is like preconceived or anything. So Doc has not told us anything that he's going to be doing. If there's any special showcasing or anything, he wanted to surprise us if he does anything extra sassy or special. So that way we can be just as surprised as everyone else. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to any of the fun things that Doc has planned.
Speaking of surprise, hi, my name's Edge. I have a mute knife. Goodbye.
Yeah, so Asura had 3,000 health there.
Doesn't
Asura
anymore.
Does not.
No. Mute knife, it's such a great weapon. It really is.
Yeah, it's a fantastic weapon, and it is basically a mage masher. And for those familiar with what a mage masher does, Asura is classified as a mage, and therefore she gets mashed. Pretty much that simple.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. So, let's get back to Baigen for a second, though. We should probably tell people why we were waxing poetic about wishing we saw Baigen in other locations.
Is this because of the finely coded game with all features and no bugs?
Yes. But also it's more of the idea that because bosses scale to the position they show up in, if you can get a very punchy spot with a boss that it hits once, but it hits 3 times, it is so much worse. It is so much worse when you have all 3 things attacking you at once in a spot where, Yang in the front row could take 3,000 damage from a punch. It's a great time.
Yeah, so we'll get this key item here and then explain a little bit more about boss scaling because it is kind of important and also kind of neat. But there's our magma key. That is underground access. And also a blue robe. Is this the sassy blue robe or is this the regular one? This is just a water hag. Which means that the alt gauntlet at Ogopogo Dream still lives on. Yay. And I, for one, am okay with that.
Absolutely. We can talk about that one later too. But
we can.
Yeah, let's hear your 30 seconds or less boss scaling. Go.
Boss scaling is a great thing. So spots in the vanilla game that don't have physical attacks, like the Leviathan spot, the Bahamut spot, where they just use magic, get cranked basically to the max for physical attack, and vice versa. So the Leviathan spots and the Bahamut spots will hit uber-d hard and leave you in a really bad way if you don't have good defense. So beware when Doc gets to those spots. Was that 30 seconds?
Close enough.
All right, good.
Close enough.
Good enough for government work, right?
Yeah. The reverse also works true, especially for like magic type spots. Spots that you wouldn't think, are high power magic, but when you understand the game a little bit, like, I don't know, Odin or CPU.
Yeah, CPU is a good one.
Yeah, because they had a guarantee that, for Odin, that Xantetsuken would hit and it would kill you. and CPU that, Globe 199 is supposed to do 9,999 damage. So they turn those ones up to almost maximum as well. So those can tickle too, depending on who you find there.
Yeah, just typical normal SNES era coding,
Yeah.
where you do what you need to do, and there was no expectation that a thing like a randomizer would ever exist at that point either. So when you start randomizing things in any game, you start to discover some interesting interactions.
Very much so. We're as viewers, as commentators, as players, we all kind of hope for those really fun interactions because they really make for a great viewing experience.
And one of those interactions, Martin, you had kind of referenced a little bit earlier, and while we're doing this cutscene to get underground, Alt Gauntlet at Ogopogo. That Alt Gauntlet. Tell us a little about that interaction and how the Gauntlet works in general.
So anyone who's played the vanilla game knows that the Alt Gauntlet is usually it's just like, some guards and, you get like, some birds and some things like, it's not terrible, right? It's okay in the vanilla game. The Alt Gauntlet pulls from the pool of enemies in the location that it's in. So depending what spot you find it at and what enemies it pulls, we always joke about the Alt Gauntlet at Ogopogo because it will pull things like evil masks, behemoths, 2 red dragons, basically some of the worst enemies in the game, and you have to fight 5 of those fights back to back to back to back to back. It builds character, as we like to say in pre-Enterprise.
Yeah, it builds character, it puts hair on your chest, however you want to explain it and phrase it. It does all of those things. The first time you fight it, you start to understand why people meme about it and talk about it the way they do. We're very unlikely to actually see it tonight, but if we do, it'll be a special kind of treat because it is more difficult than arguably anything else in the game, including the final boss. It's effectively a boss rush in a game that doesn't have boss rushes.
Exactly. So, hey, speaking of things that we enjoy, though, I did enjoy seeing those Bacchus wines there for sale in Dwarf Castle, though.
Yeah, it is 5 o'clock somewhere, and apparently it's 5 o'clock for Doc's Edge right now, because that ninja... It's not going to be baby's first wine cooler or anything like that. This is Edge having some grown man wine.
Oh, and sirens. Uh-oh. Well, so not only are we going to be drinking a little bit, but hey, we're going to be leveling a little bit here soon as well.
Yeah, I don't know that you need to spend too much time leveling right now.
Not yet.
But certainly those sirens, once we get the 10 key items, will help out in the leveling. And it looks like those 10 sirens, if Doc were to do something like yellow dragon eggs, which are on the Peninsula of Power underground here, those will give 68,000 XP apiece. And it is not split XP like the vanilla game. It is equally applied to all characters. And 10 key items also gives you double XP. So what would normally be 34,000 gets doubled to 68 and gets spread throughout the entire party. So a lot of quality of life changes as well to the randomizer to help shorten grinds, make seeds quicker, just make your quality of gameplay even more fun and even better.
Very much so. But it looks like we're going down into probably one of my favorite places. I affectionately call it the March. It's technically the Fey March, but we call it the March. Home of things like the Marriott Inn. It is the most expensive inn in the game. It's $1,200 a night. Probably won't see, a stay here, but that's okay. But one of our objectives is down here. The Vanilla Leviathan location is down here. And, once again, we waxed a little poetic about boss scaling. Awesome. Who do you want to see here? Who would be fun?
Out of what's left, I think I would like to see Ogopogo.
Oh, that'd be rude.
That would be a treat because it can still punch you really hard, but looks like Doc may not even be peeking it yet. May just be waiting.
I don't know if I agree with. I feel like you have to look because you have to know what you're going to be setting up for.
He was looting more, I see. So looting more may have some things he wants to buy instead, and then go check out the bosses. But it looks like he's going to go peek now, and we shall see what is at the boss location here. And that's a Karate Man, which is honestly acceptable. That is going to be a very dangerous boss to take on. We'll do one punch and then an AoE kick. The AoE kick in that spot will deal somewhere between 400 and 600 damage. It may actually not be a fight that Doc can get through right now.
No.
He may go ahead and try it, and I think dropping down to battle speed 6, he's going to give it a fair shot here. Or may actually just be setting up for Bahamut instead.
I was gonna say moving those star veils. I think we know what's coming here.
Yeah.
So yeah, because Bahamut in that spot, what was it? 25,000 HP in that spot.
23, I think, 23? Right around there though. Yeah.
So we have a very decent shot of and you see Ed immediately go into the middle. So HP doesn't matter at this spot. Bahamut has one thing it does, and it does it very well, by the way. You get a solid 5 count, and then anything that doesn't have a wall up dies. That's usually how Bahamut works.
Yeah, and this may also be a case where Doc just wants to go full aggro here and just DPS race. And may just be zerking up and maybe throw a Star Veil up later after he's done some damage. So interested to see his approach on this. But also chat asking about one of my favorite items, a Moon Veil. A Moon Veil would be phenomenal for Yang's kicks, or excuse me, for Karate's
punches.
Kicks.
Yes.
The punches, yes. The kicks, however, actually bypass the barrier status that the Moon Veil puts on you. So normally you would be able to have full physical immunity in a fight, but that kick will actually still do damage, which makes the Moon Veil still very good, but also those kicks still become a liability. So I'm curious to see if Doc does have a plan for that Karate, or if he is just going to carry on with this Bahamut and then move on out.
I have a great idea for the plan. You ready? Leave and go find Cecil.
Yeah, that's a really good plan too. And why is Cecil important for that fight?
Because they didn't get rid of the script kill in the game. So you basically let our favorite punch mage, he punches you, he kicks you, he punches you. If you're cute, you can swing before he kicks you. Most people just wait for the second kick to fire. But then when Paladin Cecil bonks him once, he basically says ouch and collapses and goes away. He does his best Edward impression.
Yeah, definitely a situation where where Eddie's got the right idea there. Yeah, so that would be a good tech for sure. Yeah. But looks like this Bahamut is down, and we have a reward coming out. Do we get a press? No.
There's the white shirt. Found it.
Okay. Normally you get a white shirt from the pink tail. Colloquially, there's like 8 different items it can be, but there's our white shirt. And honestly, leather shirt to white shirt is a pretty big upgrade for Rosa.
Question from John in chat: does that Dragoon Lance do extra damage? No, because it's not a dragon. I know Bahamut can be insulted. I don't care. Bahamut's not a dragon. Bahamut's a summon.
But
there's a difference.
It's a giant dragon lord summon.
Yes, but it's a summon. Wyvern gets to be a dragon.
Wait, so what are dragons and what aren't dragons? And are they all birds? And is it like Final Fantasy IX where Bird Killer works on things that aren't birds but are stone and and ships?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
That's exactly it.
Okay, so
everything
are like
is
birds.
A dragon until it's not. Let's go with that.
Perfect.
Okay. That's everything you need to know about the Dragon Spear, folks. Eggs, by the way, are also dragons, regardless of whether they're hatched or not. Those are also dragons.
Well, only the dragon eggs, not the Lamia eggs.
Well, but you don't know what's in the egg until you hit it once.
Well, you should.
I mean,
If you're doing it right.
If you're doing it right.
So off to the tower Doc goes. We have him going to where the vanilla Dr. Luge fight would be and the vanilla Dark Imps. We have already seen the Dark Imps. We have not seen Luge, but Doc is going to opt for the tower play first. And going to take out the easy boss here, which will have 600 HP. Although it is a Sparkle. So that's a Sparkle. There's roughly 18 to 21 agility here. It's another flexible or variable agility spot. But Edge is fast enough, he'll be able to flame them. D-Lunars are weak to curative magic because they're undead. They're weak to fire. They're also dragons. They're honestly not that big a concern. And as y'all can see, they're already gone.
Yep. It's a good play on Doc's part. I like it because you have the tower key in hand. It's 2 shots at something here, so yeah, it's a good idea. And who knows, maybe you acquire the pan from one of these.
Yeah, no, I mean, the pan would be huge because then you'd be able to single dip Sylph Cave. You wouldn't have to go down there twice. And that can also be a big deal, only having to do 1 trip down there. That would be a good time save for Doc.
So the top of tower we go. This isn't a terrifying spot, I would say. As a matter of fact, it's not even that difficult of a spot in the vanilla game. Is there anything up here that really causes issues, short of maybe exactly Wyvern?
Yeah, I was going to say Wyvern's about it.
Yeah.
Val would be interesting because we don't have good magic here. We only have physical. Edge's parents.
Never mind.
Yeah, not going to be a problem.
Can we go back really quick to something Kuro said earlier about there's a flag that turns off that script kill? Boy, in things I miss, Possum, you know where I'm going with this, right? You know what I miss?
4th wave?
Yeah, I miss 4th wave. So we're gonna let y'all in. We're gonna give you a little education here on a flag called Free Bosses. King, Queen, Evelyn, they like talking a little bit. They do. They usually talk at the start of every fight. Start worrying when they don't talk. If you don't see them talk and they start firing spells, you have a very unique flag on. You want to talk about it, Possum?
Yeah, so the no free bosses flag, or the free bosses toggle, if that were on, you wouldn't see the talkie talk from King Queen Evelyn. You also wouldn't be able to exploit any non-boss bit enemies, such as the guards, either from Kaipo or Baron, the Dark Imps, the back half of the Calbrena dolls, lots of different enemies where you can normally exploit weaknesses and just have them kind of be script killed, including that Karate Man that is down in the Fame Arch. With a Cecil, you can trigger the ouch script. Excuse me, like in vanilla. But if you don't have the free bosses flag, then there is no ouch, which means you have to fight that boss straight up, which could be quite the undertaking. So we see Doc here also opting for the Berserk strat for the King Queen Evelyn, which is tired of their talking, just beat them until they disappear or go away, and Doc is through that fight. Not having to worry about free bosses, no free bosses, and picking up the Adamant Rock, which gives him the Forge, which is, I think, another X-Scout, but there's an easy way to check this. We can just go ahead and give everyone the flags for today one more time. Yep,
very much so. And the reason why we were talking earlier about 4th wave is one of the free boss things is, usually for Dark Knight Cecil, when you fight him, you count 3 waves and then you get his little speech and he goes away. So we joke about where we sit through the 3rd wave and we're like, come on, give me 4th wave. Give me 4th wave. And then 4th wave fires. And then you know you're in for a hard time. Because depending on the spot that DKC is in, boy, can that ruin a day.
Yeah, so in the vanilla game where you'd find Dark Knight Cecil would be at the 3rd fight on Mount Ordeals, where Cecil basically goes into the changing room and turns into a paladin, that wave only does, what is it, like 60 damage, 90 damage? It's a
nothing
small
bad.
amount.
Yeah.
But at a spot like Cave Bahamut, or CPU at Leviathan, it does 1131 to 1305 damage. Ask me why I know those exact numbers.
Look, I feel like if you played Free Enterprise long enough, that those numbers should be, wow, hey, look, complimentary wine for finishing the tower. That's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah. But yeah, multiply those waves by 3 or 4 or more, and well, things get a little colorful really
Yes,
quickly.
they do.
So let's see what we pull out of here. Let's see if it's an Excal. Let's see. I'm curious what's in the shop.
Well, it will be an Excal, but the shop can be anything that is in the tier 6, which would be apples, Murasame's, defense sword, Stardust Rod, life staffs, power shirts, Zeus gauntlets, like those power shirts and Zeus gauntlets, which when you are running a berserker party, there is nothing better that you could find than those exact 2 items.
Well, welcome to inventory maintenance, otherwise known as sell the farm and buy things.
Yeah, maybe not buying too many things right now, but certainly we'll be back for that shop later. That is absolutely a beautiful shop.
Well, you have an extra Excal. Like, you sell a few other things here. You can afford, like, 2 Zeus gauntlets or, I mean, you can grab a couple of things out of here.
Yeah, it looks like we have 2 folks with power shirts already, no folks with Zeus gauntlets, and some equipping and unequipping going on to kind of min-max the funds here, which I can't say I blame Doc at all for doing. We may even see a protect ring get sold here because, frankly, the Zeus gauntlets are just that much better for berserkers.
Yeah. And, also the good part about this, too, is, we talked about, okay, he's got a couple canes. Well, the good part is most of Kane's equipment kind of kicks over to Cecil when we pick him up. So it doesn't really matter what you're buying here, because when and if Kane decides to go away, everything just shifts right on to Cecil. So, do this shopping trip once, get what you want, and you're never seeing this place again.
Yeah, it looks like Doc picked up 3 Zeus gauntlets. I think he was trying to cobble together enough funds for a power shirt. I think maybe seeing that Dragoon gauntlet, he may sell it now and buy that last power shirt. Yeah. And looks like Samurai Helm goes instead, which makes perfect sense. White spears there and apples, but yeah, that's how you make Kane a viable endgame character, is by giving him a power shirt and a Zeus gauntlet. That's a total of plus 25 strength, and every 8 strength is an extra multiplier for your weaponry. So that is actually going to make these Canes hit pretty hard. They will be good imitation Cecils.
Yes, they will. Not surprised by this play. Well, once again, this is about the pan. You don't want to go load up Sheila 1 unless you've exhausted like all your options for the pan. And this could be a Cecil.
Yeah, absolutely. This could be a Cecil. You don't have to worry about the warp glitch. It could also be a Fusoya, in which case Rosa probably just gets deleted from the party. There's a lot of things this could be, character-wise. It could even be a second Edge, or a third Kane. Lots of different things that this character could be. Even Iridio would be a good pickup. That would be a better anchor than the Edward that we currently have for Dr. Cossack. So lots of good stuff here, and we'll see how he opts to go through this dwarf castle and where he opts to go after that.
I like the fact you brought up the warp glitch, because the flag isn't on in this flag set, but it'd still be really funny with this exact party right now because, well, you don't have warp.
Yeah,
so...
I think if the warp glitch were on, he would have taken Palom, but with the warp glitch being off, there's really not a huge impetus to add that Black Mage to the party. This is a Zerker flag set, and Doc is playing into that.
Yeah, the only thing warp would really come in handy for would probably be exactly Luca to save you a bit of time there, but is that worth taking a Palom for? Not really.
And it looks like we have a Dr. Luge in the second spot. And there is a
Oh.
Rydia. That's a good anchor and brings us in. Well, okay, goodbye,
Oh.
Rydia.
Okay,
Too
well.
much work, I guess, to bop her and leave her on the ground.
Yeah.
But this also gives us a good little bit to explain what an anchor is. So in Final Fantasy IV, in the vanilla game, everything is predicated off of Cecil's agility. In Free Enterprise, because you don't always have a Cecil in your party, if there is no Cecil, you basically end up with the middle character as your anchor. So in this case, Doc has just basically left Edge in the middle, except for 1 or 2 fights. And this is because he wants to leverage Edge's speed. And his air quote anchor is actually fast. So it's kind of counterintuitive in a sense. But this Edge is at about 30 agility. And that means this Edge is way, way faster than the bosses that he's fought so far. So he's getting way more turns than the bosses are. Now, in the Asura spot where Doc took on that Bahamut, he put Edward in the middle, I believe. And that Edward being in the middle means that everybody else is going to be acting at the same speed since Edward is super slow. There's our Darkness Crystal, and we'll get to that in just a second. But to finish up the agility conversation, by Edward being at, let's say, 9 agility, and Edge being at 30, he is what we refer to as relative agility 1, which is 2.5 times the agility of your anchor plus 1. So 9 times 2.5 is what? 22 plus 1 is 23. I'm doing math on stream. I am. It's for the people, Martin.
Right.
we basically end up in a situation where you want the bosses to be slowed down to you. That Asura spot boss, that Bahamut, actually has 66 agility. It's incredibly fast. So Doc wanted to slow it down to his speed, as opposed to taking more turns than it, because that's not feasible. So that's kind of the thick and thin of the agility conversation. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's a cursory explanation, which still takes a little bit of time. Welcome to the black magic, the real black magic that is agility.
How long have we been playing this game for, Possum?
For me, 2 years.
Okay.
Without ever playing vanilla.
I'll say, I've been playing it a bit longer than that. Even I still don't fully understand agility. I learn something new about agility every day in this game, so...
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's one of my favorite parts about it because it's very difficult to figure out, and that's for folks who have put a lot of time and effort into it. Even, but speaking of time and effort, this was a lot of time and effort for Doc to try to find a pan, and he has not yet found it. But he does have a rat tail.
It does, without a hook though, so it's just a tail.
But
hey,
Doc,
yeah, I think we're going to the moon.
Yeah, I was going to say, we now have 2 more objectives open, which gives us 6 total open objectives.
Yeah.
3 of them are completed. So we have completed the Sand Ruby turn-in, we have completed the Liberation of Baron Castle, and we have completed the Twin Harp or Cave Magnus. The Leviathan spot, the Ogopogo spot, and Cave Bahamut are all open. So 3 open objectives, 3 completed objectives. That means that we only have to find the hook and the pink tail, and Dr. Cossack will be in go mode.
Oh, baby. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we haven't seen the All Gauntlet yet. And that Ogopogo spot looms very large.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, that the Alt Gauntlet could be anywhere on the moon. We'd love to see it at the Ogopogo spot, but could be anywhere.
Strangely, you know where else I wouldn't mind seeing it? It's a very understated spot, but I love seeing it there.
Crystal Sword Altar?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For quite possibly, I would say probably the worst single fight of an enemy in the game is a pair of blue dragons.
Yep.
Yeah, those things are just, they are not nice.
Yeah, the blue dragons are jerks. They are the honorary kind of most difficult enemy that you will hopefully never encounter in the game.
Yeah.
Because the blue dragons are resistant to holy, They have a ton of physical evade multipliers. They don't particularly care if you cast magic on them, because that stat's high for defense too. They're just really tough to deal with.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they just punch and do a blizzard spell, which is based on their HP. So it's not that bad if you have good defense, but man, are they difficult to deal with if you're not well prepared.
Yeah.
And Sid is not going to help you prepare much for those particular dragons.
No, not at all. All right, so we know what our objectives are. You're here. What are you doing? Are you doing Cave Bahamut first? Are you just going straight to the bottom? What are we doing? I think we're kind of getting our answer right now.
I think I would peek Cave Bahamut for the information, maybe do a little shopping.
Yeah.
But Cave Bahamut is an interesting one because much like that Leviathan spot with that karate or that Yang, it's also extraordinarily punchy.
Yeah.
Doc also maybe doing a little more inventory management, doesn't pick up the Thor rages. I think can probably outrun a Kainatsu at this point anyway. But looks like he is going to pick up the airship again, the Lunar Whale. And we are going back to the
we're going down
the Crystal Palace here, the Lunar Subterranean. So no Cave Bahamut for us.
So here's I wonder. This is one of those interesting plays that you kind of wonder about. So you're sitting at 8 key items right now. We know what 10 gives you. If Cave Bahamut is in any sense viable and it gives you an item, you're at 9, then you can start doing objectives on the way down the moon, or go straight to the bottom, do like Plague first. If you can hit 10, then that ribbon room becomes very nice.
Well, interestingly enough, we're actually at 9 because the Sand Ruby is in the inventory.
Oh, it is. It's okay.
Marked.
My apologies.
So...
I'm looking at the screen like, wait a minute, that's right. He did turn that in.
Yeah.
So, okay, then that changes the logic. Yeah, you're at the bottom of the moon immediately.
Yeah, because the Plague spot, the vanilla white spear altar, is what, 28,000 health, I believe, Martin, not 27,834.
No, it is definitely not 27,834. But thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. I thought you could, use a reminder of one of your most fun for Enterprise experiences. But that white spear altar it only gives about 30,000 XP, so there's not really a reason to save it for after 10 key items, but if you can get your 10th key item there, that's a big deal. Also, we see Doc putting a mute knife on Edge here.
Oh,
we're getting Warlocks.
Warlocks. Yep. You know what? I like this. I'm curious to see how many he does. I noticed he had, I think, 3 mute bells, so he may just burn all 3 of them and leave it at that.
Sense.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, mute bells basically shut down the only warlock attack they have, unless you let it get down to 1 warlock, and then things get a little bit cute. But other than that, I mean, you're doing this for, I believe it's like 80 some odd thousand if you glitch them all.
Yeah,
times 3, so that's a free 250,000 that you're getting. So yeah, it's not bad. And
you said if we glitch them all, and I see that we have the life spell and life potions being added, or being used, here for 86,500 XP.
So that life glitch. This?
Well, I can explain it if you don't want to.
I can explain. I can actually explain it in very very short terms too.
All right,
because it's a finely coded video game.
As is everything. Wait, can we talk about $2F later or no?
No, we're not talking about that. No, skip that part.
Okay.
No, not important in this scene. So the way the game works is when you revive somebody, it looks at the vitality stat of your character, multiplies it by 5, and that's how much HP you come back with. They didn't give enemies vitality. Enemies have 0 vitality. So when you revive an enemy, guess what? They come back with 0 HP and they just die again. So that's what the life glitch does. You basically kill an enemy, you throw a life potion or something on it. You never see the sprite come back, but I swear, I promise, they come back. They just die immediately again. There you go. And you just killed 2 for the price of 1. Or 3 if you're really good. Or 4 if you're really being tricky and all sorts of exciting. So there are loopholes to that. You can do some very interesting things with Life 2. Because Life 2 does not rely on the Vitality stat. It just brings it back at 100% HP. So you can do some very interesting grinds involving that spell. But for the most part, the life glitch is, as long as you're not the only enemy on the screen and the flag is on, it works.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool feature having that life glitch. You can make grinding a lot quicker. Sometimes you can turn that off, but there's really not too much reason because it just adds time. What happens if you life glitch a stoned enemy? So what happens actually is it retargets. You cannot life glitch a stoned enemy. That's a really fun fact, is that stoning something removes it entirely from the battlefield. So you can no longer retarget with the hope of it coming back. It simply retargets away from that enemy onto a different one, and then you life cast on a living enemy, which doesn't do anything. And sometimes actually can have counters rendered at you, which is even more fun.
Yes. Hey, Doc, by the way, no, you don't have an hourglass. Yep, sorry. Sorry, that's not going to work this time. Hey, Possum, why do you want an hourglass in this fight?
Well, an hourglass would be good in this fight because only half of these enemies have the boss bit that we talked about earlier. So the blue dolls here, the cows, even though they have like 2.5 times the HP of the red dolls or orange dolls, they do not have the boss bit. So you can size them, you can toad them, you can kill them with coffins, you can stop them with hourglasses, any number of things you want to do. Now, in Doc's case, he is limited basically to just kind of working up and murdering them. Rosa could cast eyes and even charm for fun, but I think Doc is just going to go through and start everyone up and go murder here. But basically, what you could do, and my favorite thing, is if there were a black mage available, or an Edward that were a toad that used the sing command, you could turn the cows into toads. And when they are toads, the turned into Calbrena script that you're about to see come up, it basically doesn't fire off. So what happens is it'll say, turned into Calbrena, turned into Calbrena, turned into Calbrena. And it won't actually turn into Calbrena, they just stay toads and they're really cute. But no toads this time.
Aww.
And to kind of elaborate a little bit on using a coffin is an item that mimics the cast of the fatal spell. So you effectively use this coffin that Doc is using, and it casts the fatal spell, and poof, doll goes away. It has been fataled. And Doc is through that fight. Very well done for not having an hourglass or anything like that.
Oh, hello.
Ooh. All right, Martin, this one's yours.
I was good. And that was easy. So welcome to the Edge Show, folks. Boy, you thought he was good early? Wait till you see this.
The Martin and Adamant armor was picked up. Now,
Yep.
Vanilla, you basically don't see Adamant armors. But
Of course you
in
do.
this...
You just don't want to know how long it takes to get one.
Yeah, no. So, Martin, why is that Adamant armor so good?
Oh, I don't know. It's like ridiculous stats. It's got plus 15 to everything. It basically makes you take 1 physical damage in the back row. It's elemental resistant to almost everything. It's basically the cheat code for free enterprises. If you put one of those on someone, yeah, they are in all reality not going to die. Short of something that bypasses like percentage-based damage, like a wave, or things of that nature. So yeah, Edge is, I would go so far as say, nigh unkillable right now.
I was hoping that just for the memes, Doc was going to cast Float there, because the one thing that the Adamant armor does protect against is the in-battle float cast. Why?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Finally caught a video game.
You can't float someone wearing an Adamant armor in a battle. They can be floated outside a battle, but not in one.
So yeah, no, it's an amazing piece of gear. Yeah, we're starting to see it a little more often now. This was, I mean, the Adamant Cup was the first tournament where it was basically enabled. But it's just so good. It really is.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful piece of armor. Also, thank you, Kainatsu, for the apple.
Yeah. I
yeah.
like how we're not saving for this either because, whatever. Unless this is exactly the alt gauntlet, and then, well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Here we go.
If you have to reset here, it doesn't matter. It's only 60,000 XP.
Yeah.
Like, you don't care, and you have an adamant armor. I didn't see a delay there, though.
No.
This is very much so not the alt gauntlet. But
Sorry, folks, we tried.
There is one kind of cool thing that happens here. The lit ones from Mylon can do upwards of 700 damage to unprotected people.
Yeah.
So if you don't have lightning resist here, because the magic at this spot is absolutely through the roof to make sure that Ogopogo's blaze counter and weak counter landed, the magic is maxed out at this spot. So the lit ones from Mylon here are going to do far more than you'd expect as long as they hit anyone but Edge. It's a good time.
I'll say. Yeah, that kind of tickles.
Only 500. I wonder if there's some Dragoon gear on that cane. But even so, that's a lit one.
There it is.
736. Like, just think about when you cast lit one in this game, and you're used to like 70 damage, 100 damage. That's 700.
Yeah. Things that you learn about this game, like, oh, this is a free fight. Oh, all he does is cast lousy lit one. This will be fine. About that. That.
A couple tournaments ago, another very high magic spot, the Odin throne that you had referenced. I've had this boss at the Odin throne, which guarded an objective. And had I been able to make it through that fight, which I wiped to because of the lit ones, I would have won that race. I did not because I couldn't get through it. The lit ones of all things were too powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's things that you kind of learn as you play the game. Like, you want all sorts of power on the canes and everything. It's like, but a single piece of Dragoon gear right now, and you're fine. Just little things like that can make such a huge difference, running seed of this nature. So,
yeah, and thankfully the Rosa and the Edge are well protected against the lightning, so it's not really a concern for them.
No.
And the spoon, that's your favorite face check dart.
It is. I affectionately call it the face check dart. It is 255 times Edge's level plus a random 0255 number. Basically, as long as his edge is in like the mid-30s, that is an automatic 10,000 damage against anything you throw it at. So if you're on a hunt for an objective or something of that nature, it will shortchange a fight by a lot.
Yeah,
and
10,000 damage is a lot.
Yeah, and if it's not what you want, hey, just reset, get your spoon back. Life goes on.
Yeah, now that does put Doc still a pigtail and a hook away from go mode, but that was his fourth objective completed. So he now has completed turning in the Sand Ruby, liberating Baron Castle, completing Cave Magnus, and the Vanilla Ogopogo spot. Probably pretty happy he made the decision to come down for Lunar Subterrane here instead of doing the Odin Throne, that karate fight. Picking up that adamant arm is just going to make things so much nicer for the entire rest of the game.
Yep. Comment by Trenton in the chat, as long as you don't have to fight Mom Bomb. Actually, you know what? It's still not bad against Mom Bomb because of the way that mechanic in that fight works. You take the spot Mom Bomb's at, it is roughly 64% of that spot's HP to trigger the explode phase, and then it is 10,000 damage on top of that. So the spoon still can shortchange a Mom Bomb fight to where you just never see the explode phase at all. So that is an option that still exists.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we also have everyone's favorite. Here's an Odin. So yeah, this is a very punchy spot, but it's not really going to be that bad. Maybe the front row Canes will have a bad day, but a Zeus Gauntlet Power Shirt is still a lot of defense. Edge taking 1 with that adamant armor on. Yeah, this Odin's in trouble. Also, the Zantetsuken does basically nothing here because this is the vanilla Wyvern spot. Magic is incredibly low here, so Odin's finishing move won't actually finish you. And because Wyvern is a non-physical boss, the attack stat is absolutely cracked here. It is like nearly max. But again, the equipment that Doc has found at this point, he's not really taking damage. So yeah, that Odin is down basically as quickly as we got into the fight. And there is a white shirt. I don't believe we have another person to wear a white shirt. 2 white shirts, 1 white mage.
I mean, you keep it for the experience. So that's fair.
Hey,
I'm all right with that.
You ready for another Stride of Pride?
This is not the stride. No, you don't go down the move without exit. Like, come on, no.
Yes.
No.
No Warpcaster. No Tower of Zot to learn exit on Rosa.
I
didn't see exits in the shop.
Doc would trade that white shirt for 1 exit right now. Just straight up, wouldn't even blink an eye at it.
Yep, trade a tier 7 best white mage armor in the game for a single exit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doc is going to be able to run on down here, enjoy his leisurely walk, think about what he wants to do, think about what he's seen. I assume that the Murasame Altar and then Cave Bahamut are up next, but maybe Doc will surprise us. What do you think?
No. I don't think it's a surprise. I think we're going straight to Murasame.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Also, kudos to Doc remembering his way backwards out of here. This is
it's a
tricky.
Test. It is. Like, you're used to, like, oh, you go down, you cast exit, you never have to think of it going backwards. Like Luca, okay, yeah, we have to think about that backwards because sometimes you don't have warp. But the moon backwards? It's a little weird.
Yeah, I had to do it in one race during the Adamant Cup, and it's very nervy for a couple reasons. Because one, you're like, what if my opponent looted a single exit literally anywhere in the game? I just lost like 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And two, wow, I just made the choice to come down here without an exit. I'm a buffoon. But in Doc's case, he didn't have an option without shopping. So.
No. We joke about, like when we play the game, you get an Earth Crystal and you're excited because, it gives you access to the treasury. No, it gives Rose the exit. That's why we're excited.
Yeah, we do have Doc doing that Murasame altar check. Absolutely makes sense. This is the vanilla Pale Dim location. Roughly about 30,000 health here. Not too punchy, not too much magic. Doc does have a history with Golbez at this exact spot, but just an Octomam today.
Yeah. Hey, Possum.
Yeah.
So I'm running through a lot of these locations that we've seen so far in my head. Still haven't seen the All Gauntlet.
Nope.
But I also spy with my little eye a certain Luca key.
Yep.
In his inventory.
Yep.
I hear that spot holds a place in your heart.
It sure does, especially with a party like this. Let me tell you about the All Gauntlet in Sealed Cave. It is batty. And it will drive you batty. Spoiler alert, chat, that's because there's a lot of bats there and it's in a cave and it's awful. Yes. I hope for Doc's case that it's there, because that way we can revel in it and y'all can enjoy it. And you can listen to the same silly music there the entire time. But that All Gauntlet, this is just going to be, if it's at a place like that, single target damage, which is brutal when you have like 7 to 8 enemy formations. Oh, hey, that's another Excal. That's 3 Excals and no Cecils.
Is Cecil on the Giant? It's probably on the Giant. Yeah.
On the plus side, we now have a spoon and 2 X-Gals. In addition to the X-Gal that was sold, we're actually nearing the point where I wonder if you put the adamant on Kane, you zerk him up, and you just have Edge dart things in the the final fights because of how large the dart damage is going to be.
Yeah. I mean, what? 1 spoon, 2... He sold 1 X-Cal, so he still got 2. I mean, those 3 with a level 50 Edge, I mean, you're in the 25 to 30,000 range on damage just from those 3 darts.
Yeah, it's big damage.
Trenton brings up that would mess up MDef on Edge. Yeah, it's a fun little mechanic about taking the adamant armor off somebody. But the catch is it's only elemental that gets really weird. Which, when you're in the Z fight, you don't really care about elemental damage. Because either you're getting a counter nuke to the face, or you're getting a big bang. Or a virus.
Yeah. And we've also seen already D-Lunars which do fire damage.
Oh,
well, good thing we have all those darts.
Fun.
So, we're about to see the liquidation of the dart supply on Dr. Cossack's side, and for good reason.
Yes.
This is CPU. CPU would normally be at the end of the giant, and you would normally, if you were at like a lower HP spot, take this on by just zerking and laughing. If you want to see free Enterprise runners figure out new and creative ways to wipe to free bosses, in air quotes, this is the fight for you.
Yes.
Because the minute you try to get cheeky with this, you die.
You mean playing Q?
Yes, plan Q. So as you see the remedy coming out as well, that's remedying for 3,083 damage. That is 10% of the big orb's health, meaning it has 30,800 health. That's a lot of health to chew through by normal means. So Doc is going to be darting some X-Gals, doing some ranged attacks, jumping a little bit. Looks like he's opting not to dart with Edge, just going to be jumping and... Oh, we are getting some plan Q here. I'm surprised, and I like it.
For anybody that doesn't know, by the way, so the reason why you only kill 1 orb is because if you kill the second little orb, big orb gets mad. And
it's mad time.
that Globe 199 is now a thing, and people die. That's how this fight operates.
I think the magic here is just strong enough to kill. I'm not certain.
It's going to be close. Yep, somebody is getting 1.
That's enough. Okay.
Next, please.
I think he's done enough damage, though. Yeah. All right. Only 1 casualty. Edge is not immune, even with the adamant armor. The adamant armor does not stop Globe 199.
Nope. It is typeless damage. Wow, the value. Possum.
Yeah.
Our answer's on Earth.
Yeah. It's either Baron Basement, Luca Key, or Karate Man. Good times were had by all.
Wow. I mean, you had to come with the moon. You had objectives. I mean, it's fair. So.
And interestingly, that does put Doc, sitting, still looking for the hook, the pigtail. So still 2 key items away from Go Mode, but is now 5 objectives complete. Only has that King of Summon Monsters, which will be relatively easy now. But that pigtail still needs a little help. And the interesting thing about this is, for those wondering, the Adamant Cup flags, this was the group stage or the entry stage to the tournament. There's another flag set which takes this and really adds some difficult features to it. So this is the air quote easy route, and Doc is doing a great job of making it look easy. But I assure you, it's still difficult. There's still a lot of technique and skill required to get through all these fights.
Yeah. And I like how we talked earlier, when we saw the flag set, we were discussing, it's like, what are the odds this is going to be what we affectionately refer to as a 28 out of 28? We're getting there. It's becoming more of a reality right now.
Yeah, I mean, and that was one of the things about the flag set is it was pushing for full completion to really test a runner's knowledge, their in-depth skill. And this is doing just that. Doc has cleared the moon, cleared everything but one spot underground and one spot overground, or excuse me, two spots underground. Has Luca as well, but doing the Odin, the Baron basement check, and he is presented with either a ruby or a an elements fight.
Oh,
Well,
please fire a glare on anyone not named Edge right now. Just do it.
yeah.
Just do it.
So
Here it
what's
comes.
going to happen here? Bye, Rosa.
See ya.
So glare is fire damage. Glare will not do anything to Edge. Edge will take 1 damage. However, everyone else will melt.
Yeah,
Glare
pretty
is
much.
devastating.
Yep.
Yeah, without an adamant armor, this is one of the worst spots for Ruby.
Now we get to see the fun Fire 2 mechanic.
Yeah, the Fire 2s also deal a ton of damage.
Yeah.
And there's another glare, and that's going to be a dead Kane to go with a soon-to-be dead Rosa. That's quad 9s. Everybody loves quad 9s. And there's going to be a dead Rosa, a dead Kane, soon to be possibly an... Oh, Rosa walked it off. Wow. Gets the white cast off. All right. Goodbye, Ruby. Well done, Doc.
This has been a good seed so far. We've gotten to see, a few boss battles. Hey, there's our pan.
Well, why wouldn't he have just done this earlier for the pan, Forehead?
Because you didn't have an adamant armor and it's Ruby, and you probably in all reality would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely would have melted there. The punches and the glare. That would have been terrible. Yeah. So yeah, good for Doc for waiting on that one, because there's the whole can I versus should I thing in Free Enterprise and in many other RPGs and speedruns. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Now the fun part about that fight probably could have been done earlier. I actually pointed this out earlier. Drain spears were for sale in the Baron's shop.
That's true.
That would have been a way to avoid the counters. And yes, Ruby's going to kill one character every time it takes an action. But, 6 drain spears and that fight's over. So.
Yeah. I still don't know that I would have sat through it all.
No. Usually you see that boss at that spot and you're like, I'll come back, halfway past never.
Yeah. And, Doc kind of knew with his party. It's a Zerker party. There's a lot of mean stuff to be down there, and I think he made the right choice.
Yeah.
In this pan, probably wants to pick up a hook at some point soon to turn in that rat tail, and whenever he gets the pink tail. So probably hoping for a hook from one of these two. And it's the hook. That's exactly what Doc was looking for.
Yeah. Now you hope for the wombo. Now we're hoping rat turns into pink, and we're there. That's probably not the reality, but that's what we're hoping. Interesting. We're going to go spy this.
Yeah, that's interesting to me as well. I would personally have gone after my objective, which is that Leviathan spot boss. Because if the pink tail is behind that, you're done. You're in go mode.
Yeah, you're done.
So this is an interesting choice from Doc, but may also be thinking, hey, I'm ahead on time. I can clear everything and still be done by the estimate. So let's show off all of the things in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, we both know. I mean, this is literally, it's 1 minute and 8 seconds. If you're going to go a straight walk from the door to the bottom and see what the item is here, it's pretty quick. So I think that was the save just in case he forgot to save outside, but he did save outside. So
yeah, kudos to him for knowing exactly which door has the save point. I would never in a million years know that, but that is some actually helpful vanilla knowledge.
It is.
From Doc there. Well done.
Yeah. Very, very good. I mean, hey, and I mean, yeah, he can save later on, but I mean, he doesn't have warp. So, do you really want to walk this out? No.
Now, the funny part is if this is the Earth Crystal,
you're walking it out.
You have to walk it out. You feel really bad.
Yep. If it's a pink tail, you're really walking it out. But Earth Crystal, yeah, you're still walking it out. No.
Womp womp. Just
Now,
a
see,
package.
yeah, you know what the sad part about that is, though? We don't get to see the boss. We're never gonna know if that was our gauntlet.
That's
I'm so
true.
sad.
Go back, Doc.
I was gonna
Do
say,
it for the people.
I want to see do it for the
If
people.
you're out there listening. But no, I don't blame him one bit. You
No.
just turn around and carry on. It makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. And then the question is also, do you go turn in the rat town now? Do you do Sheila 2 with and turn in? Do you do your karate objective? Looks like you're just going to go to the overworld. Mathematically, it makes sense. You have two keys that you're checking between the rat tail and the pan turn in, instead of the one for the karate boss or karate fight at the Leviathan spot.
Yeah. I like how in chat Scala calls out the rope of shame. No, there's sadly no rope of shame. I affectionately named it the rope of shame. It's the second door you come out of in Luca Cave, where usually the default is just to hold down, and there's a rope literally right below you. And that's what we call the rope of shame. And the rule is that you have to open the treasure chest at the bottom when you hit it. So sadly, there was no rope of shame today, so we don't know what is in that chest. It was probably something good. It was probably an exit.
Which wouldn't help in the sealed cave.
No, but it does. Look, he's gonna have to go do the Leviathan spot some point.
True.
It shortens that up by a little, okay? That's not a pink tail.
We did see Iridia. Maybe it's time to let Iridia hit things with Bahamut, which we learned is not a dragon.
No.
No.
It's a bit late for that one.
Okay, fine.
And by a bit late, I mean all of the late.
Oh, I guess we are not getting the pan. Maybe Doc is deciding to flatter us, Martin, and
oh, we're going shopping. What are we looking for? What was here? Sirens were here.
Sirens. I think Bacchus were in Dwarf, if I remember.
Yeah, Bacchus was in Dwarf. What else could we be?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he's looking for Bacchus.
Okay.
But he's also emulating us, Martin. We want to turn the pan in, because that's never caught us in a race against each other where we both spent 2 hours doing something that should have taken 1.
Sheila, sometimes we just forget about Sheila, and sometimes she has go mode. It happens.
The cool thing could be, and maybe Doc is doing this intentionally, putting off turning the pan in to show off Rose's mom. And chat's probably wondering, what the heck are you talking about, possibly?
Oh.
So what I'm talking about is there's a really cool thing where if you ever get confused and you're like, what did I miss? What didn't I do? Etc., etc. You can go talk to Rose's mom in Barren, in her house, and she will tell you all of your open spots that you have available.
We stayed at the Marriott.
The Fay Marriott gets a stay.
Wow.
You'll love to see it. 1,200 of your finest shekels. That's an
and the complimentary mint on the pillow, too. Oh, it's so nice.
Mints.
Yeah. Yeah, Rosa's mom does that. Sometimes there are people that just don't like using trackers at all. And if you're not going to run a tracker, sometimes Rosa's mom can come in handy.
Oh.
Or you run a tracker and you just forget to mark things, or there's a lot of reasons why Rosa's mom is a good thing. So
yeah, it sounds like a table flipping good time.
It really does, doesn't it?
It does. And we see Karate about to get a table flipped onto him. 1 punch, 1 damage. Yeah, don't hit adamant armor people. Hit, non-adamant armor people.
I know everyone's wondering, well, why aren't we killing Edward here? Oh, don't worry. We're leaving that one exactly. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
622 damage. Ed just died 10 times over. Thank you, Karate. You have done the Lord's work. Taking care of the anchoring situation for us.
Yep.
And keep in mind, folks, that's a back row Rosa with, I believe, a protect ring and a white shirt. and still took 900 damage, just to illustrate how punchy this spot is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a better showcase of it, too, would be if you put Edge in the front row right now. Like, Adamant Armor is fantastic. Edge will still take multiple hundreds of damage in the front row with that Adamant Armor. That's how hard this spot hits.
Thankfully, Edge also hits really hard, and Karate Man blew up.
All right. I mean, we know it's required.
Hey!
Well, the chase continues.
Yeah, so it's either the Earth Crystal or the Pan Turn-In, right?
Yep.
We have seen everything else in true Adamant Cup style. This is, it largely just came down to who can clear all the things the fastest. And you'll love to see it. It made for a very entertaining group stage with all the power that everyone had. It did kind of, get to the point where it's like, okay, we can do all the things, who can guess right? But that's fine. That's part of Rando Gonna Rando. And if you're faster than your opponent, you're likely going to get rewarded. We'll see where Doc opts to go. But it looks like he's deciding to pan. The time is now.
It's routing sense here. You dump a save outside. If she doesn't give, or we skip saving. If she doesn't give you what you want, you usually just reset out, hang a hard right, and bang your Interoya, and there you go. So, moment of truth, Possum. I don't think it's here.
I hope it's not, because I want to see what's in the Tower of Zot.
I told you it wasn't here.
We get to see everything, chat. Celebrate good times.
28 out of 28. We have achieved the, expected. We did expect this.
I, for one, am excited because it also means we might get a gauntlet on Zot, that's a fun one, too.
Yeah.
Because the cool thing there is, you can get tofus, flans, creams, slimes, jellies, whatever they're called, and they don't care about your physical attack, so you'll actually have to see an adamant wearer in Edge use some sort of ninja magic.
Yeah.
We'll also learn Exit on Rosa, and we get to rate that treasury. Martin, tell us about T. Wildest treasuries.
It's like Christmas. Except it's like all the presents you want and not the terrible ones that you have to smile and thank your parents or aunt or uncle or whatever for the things that get buried and gather dust everywhere.
Martin, that was a terrible T-Pro treasury.
It actually was.
T. Wildish, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it came with a better sword for Edge. I mean, I get over it.
I think the best thing that was picked up there was a Gaia drum. Just in case you ran into the gauntlet. I mean,
I just like how Doc right now is like stupid treasury and just start trash canning everything. Like, yeah, no, that's how it should work.
Yeah, no, it was not helpful.
No, at all.
Yeah, chat pointing at 4 things to throw out of 10.
All right, up Zot we go. Yeah, yay, we get to learn Exit. How many times are we going to use it? 0.
Counterpoint. We decide to go back into Feymarch. No, we go into Dwarf Castle for more Bacchus and use Exit there.
Ooh, well, no, because he's got 5. That should be enough to get through Z, so no.
Okay, maybe we cast it in battle for fun.
Okay, there we go.
Because she learns it in between Zot 1 and 2. She doesn't learn it after the second fight. So in theory, we could cast Exit during the second fight here in Zot. Again, for fun.
We could. Yeah, unfortunately, it goes to the very last spell on the list, though, because we've kind of learned everything else, so... Also, not saving.
Well,
okay, so this
possibly
is
kill him,
dangerous for
Wyvern.
this exact reason. Uh-oh. Oh. Darn it.
Good work, Kane. You hit dragons with your Dragoon Spear and still couldn't one-shot a Pale Dim at level 50.
Yeah.
Everybody clapped for Kane.
I was going to say, so for context there, if that was Wyvern, and he tried to pull that stunt with Kane and shortchange the damage there, he dies.
Yeah. Wyvern would not shortchange the damage.
No.
Maybe the sparkle reminded Doc of something.
Yeah, yeah, saving because Wyvern's still out in the wild somewhere. Yeah. Hey, it's an old man.
We can go get Iridium Meteor now pretty easily.
You know who else we haven't seen, Possum, this entire seed?
We
haven't seen Cecil or Pooh.
Yeah. One of them has to be here, I believe. Oh, no, it could be one on the hook, one on the giant.
Yeah,
one on
or
the
package giant, or, yeah.
All right, show me two Talus. Show me two Talus. Okay, that works.
Hey. I know, Possum, you wanted to say you could just left her under the cannonball. You would have been fine, but, hey.
Well, but, we have emotes for that, so,
We do. We do, and I'm pretty sure he still has a coffin in his inventory, too, so that will...
No, I think he used that on the dolls.
Did he use all of them, or does he still have one left?
It's a good question.
Oh. Wow. No Gauntlet, no Wyvern today.
Yeah.
Well, the good part is they appear in every free enterprise. They always will come back.
That's true. Every boss but one will be in every seed, because in free enterprise, the vanilla water hag boss spot is not one that gets filled in for any reason. Now, this is kind of fun, though. If this Elements didn't initially die from this next jump, the damage here is actually quite high for magic, because in the vanilla game, the programmers wanted Valis's Reek and Ray to hit. So the magic is tuned up quite high here to make sure that happens. But no worry here. No Fire 2, Fire 3, or Glare from Elements. And Doc will be rewarded with his Pinktail, unless we have all missed something. I believe that is all that is left.
I mean, you told me you were going to track today and keep an eye on it, so I'm relying on you here. So, is this the Pinktail Possum?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Unless we forgot to defend for Bull. But yes, this is the Pinktail.
Wait, people forget to defend football? Nah, that never happened.
I've never done that. I've never faded anything in this game for 2 hours.
Nah.
Spoiler, I faded everything in this game for 2 hours at least once. Anyway, Doc is going to go turn in the Pinktail, but not before he goes underground and is going back to the forge shop, maybe picking up some goodies for Rosa? I'm not sure, or maybe deciding he needs a silk web? Who knows?
Well,
more power is good.
Yeah, he bought silk webs. I'm curious.
Were defense swords here?
White spear was.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, yeah, fine. You get tired of running a Gungnir long enough. All right, that's fair. Sure.
I mean, what are you going to spend the money on? You can't take it with you to the next seed.
Nope, sure can't. Just like moon veils, can't take those either.
And plus, he is going to get a second adamant armor from this Pinktail tournament, so that's pretty fun too.
Makes you wonder how he's going to play this Z fight. With the amount of darts he has, I don't know. I don't know if you keep it on. I mean, Edge just got both swords though. It's hard to take it off him.
I'll tell you how I would play it. I would have Edge in slot 2, which is the top slot on the screen. Kane in slot... Well, no, because neither one of them are back road. Scratch that. You have the Canes in slots 2 and 3, which are the top and bottom. In the front row. Have them drink Bacchus immediately, so they just start
swinging.
Start going ham. And then have Edge in slot 4, and then Rosa in slot 5. And I would not even bother nerfing. I would just have them all get drunk. And just let Rosa cure. They have enough health.
I like
They're not going to die.
It's a very low maintenance C fight. I like it.
2,603 health with a white shirt and a protect ring and some sort of decent staff. She ain't dying.
No.
But Martin.
Hey, yeah.
Oh. You ask the questions.
I was gonna say we're heading to the shortcut. So for people that haven't played Free Enterprise, in the vanilla game, there's a nice little hidden door here that if you have a pass, you can go see a bunch of dancers, and well, we'll just leave it at that. In Free Enterprise, we converted the door. The door now does something else. We repurposed the door and the little Mysidian magic teleporter of amazingness. It takes us straight to the moon and takes us straight to Z, so we don't have to walk the entire LST all over again.
But
But
we have exit this time, Martin.
we do have exit. No, just no. Anyway, so we randomized Z because nobody wants to take Z out of his home, even though I wish they really would. But we're north of 560 different variations of Zeramis. We don't know which one we're going to find. So, Possum, what's the question that we always ask at the end of the seed?
Well, there's a question, and it involves kicking, and it involves posteriors. And
Okay.
So whose butt are we gonna kick this evening?
I love how we talk about this game, and we try to cater it to everyone, but we're talking about wine and getting drunk and kicking butts.
I mean, that sounds like my college years in a nutshell. Sometimes
Not
I
an
was the
incorrect
butt
statement.
kicker, sometimes I was the butt kicky. Wine will do that. Anyway, again, enough about me. Dr. Cossack is fighting Zeromus, drinking some Bacchus wine. Here we
Hey.
go.
Surprise, surprise, who's our sprite? Does it have a butt?
Yeah, some of them don't.
They don't.
That has a butt.
It has a butt.
And for anyone who has played on the ladder, it is a butt.
It is. It is King Giot himself making an appearance.
Also has a hat to answer the question.
Does. Don't want to be on the wrong side of that
Debatable.
hat. Yeah, those horns, they hurt.
Yeah, that's not a headbutt I would want to take.
No.
I think that is definitely a stab headbutt for
Yeah.
Gia.
All right, where's the counter going? Oh, exactly where it needs to. Yep.
Good old nuke
Yep.
magnet.
Another piece of finely coded, video gamery here we'll talk about. It's not true. It could be true. We don't know. But if Edward's in your party at the Z fight, the ability of the counter nuke going right in his face goes up by like 30%.
Yep.
I'm just putting that out there because he always seems to eat it. Always. So yeah, this is the fight. So basically, it's 45,000 HP of watching this, and then Zeramis decides, okay, I've had enough of this, and we're going to refill our HP and go back up to 61,000, and then we're going to do it all over again. And yeah, in the meantime, you eat a big bang or two. Maybe you see it, some falling rocks come out and bonk you. But the end result is, in about 60 seconds, this fight's going to be over.
Yeah, this is a good old example of Berserker strats. Dr. Cossack is doing the whole thing of get drunk, hit things, edge, cane. They're doing what they need to do. When you have a strategy like this also, this is actually one of the better times to take a bathroom break. I know
It
it's
is.
near the end of the seed anyway, but you can go run to the restroom real quick. You even have time to wash your hands. You come on back. The fight's still going. You might need to throw a Cure 4 with Rosa. Honestly, with 2 adamant armors, you don't even need to do that. We may or may not see rocks here, which is the final form of Zeromus. Basically, the way it works is you have 65,000 health on the 61,000 on the first form, 61-ish thousand again on the second form, and then the third form is under 12,000 HP. You'll see a Meteor spell come out. Kind of like in Final Fantasy VI, just before this, there were Meteors that I believe could be fired off. But these Meteors are, well, very puny in comparison and rarely cause runners problems. And here comes Giot. There is a second Big Bang. I don't think we're seeing a Medio. I think we're about to see King Giot fall to a very unfortunate demise in one or two more swings. And there it is.
Easy every time.
So Dr. Cossack completes everything on the seed, with the exception of diving the hook route, poking around in the package, and completing the Giant of Babel, and does it in a very respectable time of 1:47.03. So very well done, and GG's to Dr. Cossack on a great run.
Yeah, very much. It shows off. I mean, like we talked about, this is a completionist style flag set, and boy did we completionist it, didn't we?
I dare say so. Yeah, Doc did. Doc showed off the game for us, and
yeah,
you know, for that, I definitely appreciate that. He let us talk about a lot of different things, you know, lots of different glitches and strategies and all sorts of stuff. So again, huge GGs to Doc, and you know, thank you so much to him, and you know, putting this you know, together and inviting us to do comms for it.
Yeah, it's always a good time talking about free enterprise, especially with you in the booth, Possum. It was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely, Martin. Always love doing comms with you. It's real fun to just be able to kind of go back and forth and shoot the breeze while having you know, at least one of my favorite games running in the background. And I don't know if we're getting Doc in for an interview or not. I think that is being figured out at the moment.
Okay.
So if we do, we'll definitely chat with him. But if not, then we'll just carry on. But you know, I'll go ahead and say thank you to SpeedGaming for letting Free Enterprise be shown off, and you know, for getting Doc in and letting him show his skills. So huge thank you to SpeedGaming in general, and you know, the SNES Super Stars Marathon. You know, it's been a blast so far. I've watched a fair bit of it and seen some really cool games and, you know, expositions go on, and you know, really neat event.
Very much so. Nice little bit here of a coding at the end of the game. We get to see, you know, for those that are, you know, minutia, where, you know, hey, how many boxes did I open? You know, you can see that there. It shows you a whole bunch of little things. Shows you spoilers at the end. 85 with the treasury. That's not bad.
Yeah, 85 is a pretty good number with the treasury. That would be nearly 69 without it, but I think 67. So pretty nice. But yeah, I hope everyone had a great time, learned a whole lot about Free Enterprise. Again, if y'all want to join in, you know, please make sure to follow that Discord link, check out the website, and of course give Doc some of your love. His Twitch is also posted in chat. You can see some amazing runs that he does, not only of this game, but of a lot of other games as well. He does SMZ3R. I know he does a lot of other like Link to the Past style stuff. He does Jets of Time, Free Enterprise, just a man of many talents.
Yep. And I'm going to throw a Possum under the bus here for a second. So if y'all are interested in possibly taking up Free Enterprise, just want to do it casually for a good time, come on over. We have a whole bunch of great people that are willing to teach and educate. Possum happens to be an admin over there. I know he won't say it, but I will. Very knowledgeable of the game, very, very welcome teacher, as are many of the Free Enterprise community. So if you want to learn this game and learn how to play it and play it well, he's one of the best in the business. He won the last tournament for a reason. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, absolutely appreciate that, Martin, and of course yourself as well. An amazing one to learn from.
Hey!
And I think we got Doc in now, so we can give a little chat to him. So GG's to you, Doc. Very well run.
Thank you.
Yeah, very well done. Thank you for showing off literally the entire game for us.
That's why I went with admin help.
So, what was your personal favorite part of the seed, if you had one?
Not really sure.
I mean,
Any?
you did get a Fade the All Gauntlet. I mean, we were
Yeah,
all hoping
Thank
based
God
on
for
your
that. I was
objectives.
kind of hoping it would be at Ogopogo.
Yeah, we were wishing there were some spots where it's like, it'd be really fun if this showed up here, and no, we were left wanting, sadly. But yeah, no, very well played through the entire seed, though. So
Yeah, and Doc, you made the choice to go full on berserkers with this party. You went with Double Cane, you went with Edge, you went with Arosa. Any thoughts ever to taking on a black mage? Palom was presented to you, Rydia quite a bit later on. Any thoughts there, or
Not with the gear I got early on. If I had a Stardust Rod or more mage stuff, I would have taken them.
yeah, absolutely makes sense. So as far as you running free enterprise, we kind of gave you a plug already as far as all your many skills and talents, and not just this game but others as well. If folks want to catch you running this game, when are they normally able to do that? Do you have like a set schedule, or just kind of stream whenever you want?
Usually
right
after 8 or whenever there's a ladder race I can participate in.
Excellent. Well, everyone, Doc as well, one of my mentors in this game, an amazing person to learn from. So if you wanted to learn free enterprise, feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to watch Doc, myself, Martin. All of us are more than happy to help you out if you want to get into it. And Doc, will one more time, we'll thank SpeedGaming, of course, for getting Doc into the SNES Super Stars marathon, letting Martin and myself commentate. But Doc, you get any final thoughts for everyone out there, or for the event as a whole?
Nope, I've been doing this for a while. Thanks for having me again. Can't wait for the next one.
All right. Well, the entire Free Enterprise community, for Dr. Cossack, Martin Broadcloak, and myself, Morpheus, I hope everybody has a great evening, good morning, whatever time for you, and we'll catch y'all for the next one. So everyone enjoy upcoming games, whatever they may be. Don't see the schedule on this side, and I apologize.
I know the answer to this one. I looked, and
Nice.
it's a game that doesn't need any. You have to watch it. It's a game called Clock Tower. I've watched it before. It needs to be experienced. That's all I can say.
Sounds good. You know who's running that?
It is Dagron that is running it, and I believe he's going to be running all 3 endings of it. And it's, like I said, it's an experience. You just need to watch it and then question many things about everything.
Awesome. Well, I am ready to not only watch it but also question things. So again, thank you everyone out there. Thank you, Martin, for saving the day there, and thank you again, of course, to Doc for your amazing run here tonight. And y'all have a fantastic evening.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Many things about everything.
Awesome. Well, I am ready to not only watch it but also question things. So again, thank you everyone out there. Thank you, Martin, for saving the day there, and thank you again, of course, to Doc for your amazing run here tonight. And y'all have a fantastic evening.
Yep. Take care, everyone.